first step. The very first step, the very first step, requirements understanding. The very first step, requirements understanding. After that, after that, test plan, test plan, and then consider test scenarios. Considering the test scenarios, and then taking with test cases, and then considering the test execution. After that, bug reporting and retesting, or sometime we can say that only bug reporting. And the last activity we need to consider test closure. So this is what we need to be get this is what we need to be get taking care about in understanding. This is what we need to be get take care about in understanding with the exactly following with the steps of this particular STLC. So whenever we are taking with this particular STLC, we need to be get taking care about in implementing with, right? So we need to be get taking care about in implementing with these particular test steps, right? So now, as part of our understanding, we need to be get take care about in understanding or in implementing all these particular things. So let's see that how we can implement all these things. That is what your whole concept of testing concepts related to manual testing. Not like only manual testing. These things, these steps will be getting connected to your automation testing also. Okay, right. Now, before getting started, requirements understanding. Before getting started, requirements understanding. Yesterday, we have been discussing about in getting creating with folder structure, considering that folder creation. The reason of need to be get creating the folder, the reason of need to be get creating the folder, as simple as the reason of creating the folder, as simple, the best example, your laptop only. In your laptop, you guys are maintaining all the data in multiple folders. As an example, softwares, you will maintain one folder, important documents, one folder, or songs, one folder, latest movies, one folder, or photos, one more folder. So why you guys are maintaining these many folders in your laptop? Why not you can just maintain only one folder? Any specific reason? In your laptop, you guys are maintaining all these particular data in multiple folders. Why you are maintaining in the multiple folders? Why not just you can go with in maintaining only in one folder? What is the reason? Any specific reasons for that? What is the reason, guys? What is the reason? Right. So as simple as easy to access. Two main things here. One is easy to access and another one easy to maintenance. Right? So the one we can say that easy to access and another one easy to maintenance, because all the data maintained only in one folder, it will become in a more clumsy, right? When you are maintaining that particular folder wise, the way of access will become an easy and the way of maintenance also will become an easy, right? So that is what you need to be get take care about. That is what you need to be get taking care about in considering the folder creation. The same thing, the same thing, okay, the same concept applied in our testing. The same thing has been applied in testing, because before getting started your testing activities, before getting started your testing activities, all the testing related data, a lot of things are there, scenarios are there, cases are there, execution, lot of activities you are performing. As you are performing these many activities, just maintaining all the things in one folder, not like very comfortable and not like an easy, right? Because of that, as part of that particular project, as part of that particular project, need to be get coming up with in creating with different folders. I mean, based on that particular project or according to that particular project, need to be get coming up with in creating different type of the folders. That is what your yesterday assignment, I told that need to create empty folders in your local system. Is that everyone done with assignment? Is that everyone done, guys? Is that everyone created empty folders in your local system? Created or not? Is it created or not, guys? Please, everyone need to work on it, guys. Please work on it. So try to get complete with the practice on time. Try to get complete with the practice on time. That will make you more comfortable to learn the subject. Because from the day when I'm clearly saying that our testing subject is more easy when you compare with any other training programs. Because of that, try to complete. I can understand that you guys are attending with the multiple training programs as you have in a lot of assignment, but anyway, as you're attending the multiple training programs, you need to be comfortable in managing the time for all the trainings, for all the assignments. Please get in the habit of managing the time according to the trainings you are attending. Please look into the practice. Don't create on the desktop, guys. Don't create on the desktop. If we create on the desktop, it will make a lot of confusion. Don't get create on the desktop. Create on drive. It can be C drive, D drive, whatever it can be. You can just create in any of the drive. Okay. So as part of my laptop, as part of my system, I created one project, Adactin. That is what our project name. That is what our project name. We created our main folder. We created our main folder, right? So we created our main folder considering that Adactin, right? Now, under the Adactin folder, we got all the subfolders. Under the Adactin folder, we got taking with under the Adactin folder, we got all the subfolders. We got all the subfolders. It's not like mandatory that now assume that you guys are working in the real time. Consider like you are working on the testing. In case of working on the testing, not like mandatory, you will go with the same names. The names definitely it will vary. The names definitely it will get vary from one particular project to another project. As a best example, assume that you guys are maintaining the laptop, you guys are creating the folders. Is that, I mean, I'm talking about your personal laptops. In the personal laptops, whatever the data you are maintaining, is it everyone creating the same name of the folders? Like for example, some person will give the folder name only softwares. Some other folders, they will mention shortcut. It's totally vary according to the person comfortable. According to the person comfortable, you will provide the folder names. In the real time also, in the real time also, what exactly the testing activities are there in the real time also, as part of the testing project, the folder names can be varied, right? So this is what we need to be get mentioning. Third, this is what need to be get coming up with our first activity. So I required everyone need to complete the assignment of creating empty folder structure. For now, for now, you guys just need to create empty folder structure. What are the folders need to create it? What are the folders need to create it? You guys can refer. You guys can refer your manual testing notes, which is already available in your Google Classroom. If you just look into your Google Classroom, in your Google Classroom, already this particular manual notes is available. If you just look into your manual notes, already available. You need to refer that notes and you have to go to the page number, I think 10. Okay, right. So here you will be getting with list of the folders. You will be able to see list of all the folder structure. According to this, you have to create. So the one who did not complete it, please make sure that you guys are completing it. Okay, now the conclusion, while working with the testing project or as part of our project testing, the first activity we will be taking care about folder creation. The reason of creating the folder to go with easy access and to go with easy maintenance. For the purpose of easy maintenance, for the purpose of easy maintenance and for the purpose of easy access, we are taking with folder creation. Okay, that part is done. Now we are coming up with the very most important activity. We are coming up with our most important activity, considering that requirements understanding. So what exactly mean by this? Let's understand in a very detail. So what you guys can do is, please write the main heading. Please write the main heading is requirements understanding. Please write with the main heading. Please write with the main heading, considering the requirements understanding. Okay. Please write with the heading requirements understanding. Under that, under that, make a note of the statements. Make a note of the statement. BRS, SRS, FRS, mockups, and taking with, sorry, and then sample application. Okay, consider that BRS, SRS, FRS, mockups, sample application. Make a note of it. I'll give the explanation. I will explain each and everything one by one. I will be explaining each and everything one by one. Just make a note of these steps. First is BRS, SRS, FRS, mockup, sample application. BRS, SRS, FRS, mockups, sample application. Okay. Written, guys? Okay. Right. note of each and every description. Now make a note of each and every particular description. Write with the first heading. Write the first heading is BRS. Write the first heading is BRS. Now write the first main heading. Write the first main heading BRS. Okay. Write down within a brackets. Write down within a brackets business requirement specifications. Business requirement specification. Within a brackets business requirement specification. Business requirement specification. Close the bracket and continue the description. Close that bracket, close that bracket and continue the description. Close that bracket and continue the description. To understand, to understand, to understand business overview, to understand business overview, business overview, or business flow, business flow of the application. To understand business overview, to understand business overview or business flow of the application. To understand business flow of the application. See the description. To understand business overview or business flow of the application. Okay. Take the next one. Take the next one. SRS. Take the next one. SRS. Write the next one. SRS. Within a brackets. Within a brackets. Within a brackets. Software requirement specifications. 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 Close the bracket and continue the description. Close the bracket and continue the description. Close the bracket and continue the description. To understand what need to be done, to understand which functionality, to understand which functionality to be tested, in application. To understand which functionality to be tested application. To be tested in application. Okay, right. Take the next one. Take the next one. FRS. Write the next one. FRS. Write with the next one. FRS. Write with the next one. FRS. Okay. Write the description. Write the description. Functional requirement specification. Functional requirement specification. Functional requirement specification. Functional requirement specification. Okay. Functional requirement specification. Close the bracket. Close the bracket and write the description. Close the bracket and write the description. To understand to understand particular functionality, to understand particular functionality to be tested. To understand particular functionality to be tested. Okay. Take the next one. Mockups. Write with the next heading. Mockups. Write the next heading. Mockups. Okay. Write the next heading is mockups. Within a brackets. Screenshot. Within a brackets. Screenshot. Within a brackets. Screenshot. Within a brackets. Screenshot. Close the bracket and continue the description. Close the bracket and continue the description. Close the bracket and continue the description. To understand what need to be tested. To understand what need to be tested. To understand what need to be tested based on GUI. Based on GUI. I mean graphical user interface. Graphical user interface. Based on GUI. Considering the graphical user interface. To understand what need to be tested. To understand what need to be tested. To understand what need to be tested based on GUI. Based on GUI. Okay. Next, sample application. I'll explain it, guys. What is the meaning of each and every document? What is the use of that? Everything I will explain. Just please make a note of it. Okay. The last one is sample application. within a brackets, within a brackets, within a brackets, similar application, within a brackets, within a brackets, similar application, within a brackets, similar application, similar application. Okay, right. So now write the description, close that bracket and write the description. Close the bracket and write the description. To understand, to understand, to understand what need to be tested, to understand what need to be tested, to understand what need to be tested based on, based on, to understand what need to be tested based on, based on similar kind of application, based on, based on similar kind of application, based on similar kind of application, based on similar kind of application. Okay, right. So let's understand what exactly mean by these particular things. As simple as how you can understand this, let's consider your development activity. You guys need to develop an application. On which basis you will develop? On which basis you guys will develop the application? If you guys want to be develop the application, on which basis you will develop the application? Mhm, mhm. Right. No, Java is technology. Java is the technology. But here the concept is you write that code to develop that code. Now you are writing that code. On which basis you are writing the code? Right. Client requirements. Based on client requirements. According to the client requirements. The client is explaining. You are saying that. So development team, this is how my application need to be developed. These are all the pages, these are all the functionality, these are all the forms, this is the logic need to be done. So client is explaining what exactly his requirements. So according to that requirements, according to that requirements, as a developer, you guys has been developing the application. Because of developer, you are writing the code and developing the application. But now we are the tester. As a tester, as a tester, we are not developing the application. As a tester, we are not developing the application. We are testing the application. We are testing the application. As a tester, as a tester, we are taking care about. As a tester, we are taking care about in testing with application. So if you want to test the application, if you want to test the application, first you need to very clear. First you need to be very clear about the requirement. Now, who is providing the requirements? Who is providing the requirements? Who has been providing the requirements? Client, right? Client has been providing the requirement. Perfectly okay. Now, my question is, my doubt is, you guys are very clear. You guys are saying that requirements are provided by the client. Perfectly okay. I'm agree on that. I'm agree on that perfectly okay. But my doubt is, my doubt is, my question is, you are saying that client is providing the requirements. Perfectly okay. But how he was providing the requirements? Is that client will make a WhatsApp call to the development team and then testing team, and then he will explain development team this is requirements, testing team this is requirements. Is that he will do? Is that he will be doing? Is that client will make a WhatsApp call and then explain the requirement? Is it possible? No, right? Not at all possible. It's not like just making the WhatsApp call and then saying that or explaining this is the requirement. Meetings, what you are saying correct only, but in case of meetings okay, we can accept it. But the problem is, if the client is explaining all the requirements in the meeting, is that you guys will remember all the requirement? Client will explain in the meeting, but when client has been explained, is that you guys will remember all the requirements? Is that possible? No, right? Which is not like in a very easy. What exactly all the requirements? What exactly all the requirements explained by the client, which we cannot easily remember, right? So because of that, what will happen is this is how your concept of BA team and then documentation came into the picture. This client, this client will start explain. The client will start explaining all the requirements, BA team, or we mentioned that SME, or consider that Scrum Master. Okay, so the client will explain, because these people are higher level people. They're already having the more experience related to the IT and related to the different project. Those guys can easily understand what are all that requirements here. Now, client is explaining the requirements to this team. This particular team will be coming up with in taking care about documenting. They will come up with in documenting. That is what that documentation only. That documentation only you are taking with BRS document or SRS document, product backlog, user stories, different terminologies, different terminologies. So this is how it will be done. This is how it will be done. Client will explain, BA team will take care about doing all the documentation. BA team will take care about doing all the documentation. Once all the documentation is completed, it will hand over to the development team or to the respective testing team. Now, as a development team or as a testing team, the first activity we need to go with in understanding requirement documents. That is what the concept requirements understanding came into the picture. So now the whole conclusion, client is providing the requirements in a format of documentation. The documentation we are mentioned BRS document, SRS document, FRS document. As an example, I written only three. As an example, I written only these three documents. It's not like mandatory that you are getting only three documents for the project. It's totally depends on the client and it will depends on the project. You may get three documents, or you may get any one document. Some of the project you may get only SRS document. Some of the project you may get only BRS and SRS document. In some of the project, client will say that for now I'm not comfortable to provide any requirement document. Chances will be there. They will not be able, to provide any of the requirement documents here. It's totally depends on the project. You may get 3 documents, you may get any one document, you may not get any of these documents also. In case of any of the requirement documents are not available, at least we need to ask the client to provide the mockups. The meaning of mockups, the meaning of mockups, we mentioned the screenshot. The meaning of mockups, the meaning of mockups, we mentioned the screenshot. Right? So the meaning of mockups only, we need to be say that screenshot. In case of requirement documents are not available, in case of requirement documents are not available, we need to take with the help of screenshots here. At least by seeing with the screenshot, we can understand, okay, these are all the functionality need to be tested. In real time, in some of the project, there is a chance you will be getting the requirement document, you will get the requirement document, at the same time, you will be having mockups also. Both the things will be there. In some project, only requirement document. In some other project, only mockups. In some other project, any of these things will not be there. Requirements documents are not provided, even mockups also not provided. If both the things are not available, we need to ask the client at least to suggest some sample application. The meaning of sample application, similar kind of application. The meaning of sample application, similar kind of application. I mean, related to the similar business. For example, the best example, let's consider HDFC, ICICI. What are these two things? If we take HDFC and ICICI, what are these two things? HDFC, ICICI, these two things, what you can consider? Banks, right? Both the things can be banks only. Both our banks perform the same activity. All the banks will do credit activity, debit activity only. But the way of how they are performing, will make the difference. Right? So the way of how they are performing will make the difference. Now what client can do, sometimes they will say that, so testing team or development team for now not able to provide the requirement, but you guys can develop ICICI Bank application, how that application is working, the similar functionalities you can test in the application of HDFC. I mean, what I'm trying to get explain is, in case of any of the requirement documents are not available, similar to that application, we need to come up with, similar to that application, we need to see that and need to be tested. The similar business kind of applications. Okay, so that is what you need to be saying, that requirements understanding. But all the requirement documents only, but not like the same, not like all the documents are same. BRS, meaning of the BRS, business requirement specification. Meaning of the BRS, business requirement specification. By referring this document, as a tester or developer, we can understand that what is that business overview or business flow. What exactly the flow of the business? Business overview, business flow means not like what is the profit and loss, how exactly the business is running. what kind of the steps they are following. That information, it will be provided in the BRS document. Because sometimes if you are very clear about with the business, it will make you more comfortable to test that application, right? So it will make you more comfortable to test that particular application here, right? So whenever you are more comfortable with the business, it will make you very easy to get understand what are the things need to be tested. Along with the BRS document, considering the SRS document. Considering the SRS document. SRS document mentioning that software requirement specification. Software requirement specification. By referring the document, by referring that particular document, we can understand that which functionality need to be tested. In that particular application, which functionality need to be tested, we can easily understand. So that is how we need to be get refer that particular SRS document. By referring SRS document, we can understand that which functionality need to be get tested. At the same time, FRS. FRS document is that particular functionality. As simple as the whole conclusion need to be tested, need to understand the requirement. If any of the requirement documents are not there, mockups, even mockups are not available, sample applications. Okay, so the whole conclusion, what I'm trying to explain is, it can be development or it can be testing. First, we need to understand the requirements. Without understanding the requirements, we cannot continue the testing activity. Okay, for example, first I will explain what my team members are doing. In my real-time projects, if you look into one of my team, how exactly they are working. See that how my client is provided. If you just look into this particular requirement document, this is what the project name ASN. ASN is the project folder. Under that we got the folder name specifications. The folder name is specifications. As part of Adactin project, we created folder name documents. As part of this project, the folder name specification. Folder names will be the different, but the concept will be the same, providing all project related documents. Now we can see how you are getting the list of all the documents here. Right? So this is how you are getting the list of all the documents. This is how you will get the list of all the requirement document. As an example, I'm taking this active supply net project name. SR is the document. Messages. Related to messages, SRS document is provided. In real time, it's not like these many documents provided in one single shot. In real time, these many documents are not provided in one particular single shot. So we done with the project almost for 2.5 years. We done the project. Because of that, so we are having these many documents here. Step by step, the client will continue providing all the requirement documents here. For example, this is an SRS document. Most of the time, 80% of the time, other documents may available, may not available. Other documents may available, may not available, but maximum SRS document will be available. Maximum SRS document will be available. Now, see this SRS document, how the client is provided and how my team members are understanding. So if you just look into, see the requirements, you guys very simple understanding it. Considering that, if you look into this particular one, very clearly it is provided. What it is mentioned, message ID, message type, what is that message? I mean, we are saying that requirements understanding. What is the meaning of that? You have to go through the document and you have to understand what is the functionality need to be tested in the project. Now, according to this statement, what we can understand, this message need to be displayed. In this message, we need to have OK button. We need to have cancel button. If we click on OK button, it has to do the save activity. If we click on the cancel, it has to return the form. These functionalities working or not. And this message where it has to display middle of the page. That is what you are understanding. That is what you are understanding according to that application developed or not. Whenever we are testing the application, as it is this message displayed or not, both the buttons provided or not, both the buttons working or not, is that displaying middle of the page or not, you will test it. If it is working, you will consider correct. If it is not done in the same way, you will report in a bug. So that is what exactly the job role of the tester. That is how I'm saying that your testing job is more comfortable, more easy. So now consider that taking with another message, this particular message. So this particular message, you need to be get considered. So here not required any button. For this particular message, you doesn't require any button. Okay, and then where it has to display top of the page, which is need to be get display, in top of the page. Right? So that is how each and every information provided in the requirement document. For example, you can see here, invalid user ID, please try again. Not only displaying the error message, along with the displaying error message, cursor need to be available on user ID field. And wait, this message has to be displayed below the login button. That particular message, need to be displayed. In case of this particular one, invalid password. Now once this message has been displayed, the cursor has to be available on password field. Right? So this is how each and every information provided in the requirement document. This is an example, just one document related to the messages. If you look into another document, see this document saying that common pages. This document is common pages. In that application, what are all the common pages need to be get displayed? As an example, if we look into these particular things, what exactly the common pages need to be displayed? Now it is see here, see this button. They are clearly saying that, mentioning that what are all the pages. See the heading, user interface, pages and forms here. These are all the pages, nothing but forms need to be displayed. What is the one form name? Form name is add supplier. In this form, what it has to display? Text box. This text box as a mandatory text box, it has to be displayed. So that is what you will test it. that particular text box has been displaying as a mandatory field or not. And by default, that particular value, the data should be null. So all these things has been implemented or not, you are testing. The best example, correcting the exam paper. That is what the job role of the tester. Just you are correcting that answers written in the correct way or not. As simple as developer develop the application in the correct way or not. What is the logic they written? What is the code they written? We are not worried about all those things. So that is what you will be taking with in considering that particular respective supplier code. What is another name? Supplier name. This is also text box only. Okay, and then taking with save button, which you will be taking with save button. This has to be displayed as a button, but how it has to display? It has to save the changes. Another one, taking with the cancel. So in case of cancel button, it has to close the screen. So this is what your understanding. Requirements understanding means, so the client will provide these kind of the documents. Client means client will explain to the BA team will come up with these kind of the documents. Okay, so once you got understanding, once you got comfortable and understanding, according to these requirement document, application developed or not, you will test it. Now, it's totally depends on the client. For example, this client, we got requirement document. Along with the requirement document, we got mockups also. See the folder, mockups. Mockups means that screenshots. We got mockups also. This is how the screenshot provided, how that forms need to be designed. So by that, in the same way, including the color, everything, in the same way, it has been designed or not, developed or not, need to be tested. That is what exactly the job role of the tester. You guys can consider any project, guys, any project. For example, in my career, I done with a lot of projects. As an example, if you look into this particular project, you can see this particular project. So this particular project, one of the insurance application, this particular project, one of the insurance application, see this, in the same SRS document, we got requirement document and we got mockups. Both the things provided here. For example, you can see that if we see here, you will be able to see functional requirements screenshot related to login page. This is what login page. This is how the screenshot provided. Now, when we are testing the application, is that application provided? In the same way or not? Well tested. That is the login page. Once we done with the login, this is another page after doing the login. This is which language it is? Is it Chinese or Japanese? Which language it is? Right. Japanese language. We not Chinese, Japanese language. Because one of the time we work for Japanese client also. Because you are the tester. As a tester, you may test any kind of application. You may get test with any kind of the application. But you may get in a doubt. Sir, we doesn't know Japanese, how we can test it? That is how the translators will be available. What the translators will do, they will convert this particular Japanese document into the English. They will convert it. Once you got that particular document in the English, then you will take care about testing it. By taking the help of the translators, you will be testing that application. That is how the testing advantage. Once you guys learn the testing for one project, the same concepts you can implement for any project. Not like development. If you learn the development of Java, you have to be comfortable developing the projects by using only Java technology, not Python. If you learn Python, you will develop only in Python. But testing, it's not like that. Because testing, we are testing the functionality. Because of that, any application, we can test it. So we got a lot of projects even related to Japanese client. We have some other project. For example, if you look into this project, this is one more project. This is one more project which we done for Japanese client here. Right? So this is how you will be having with the document related to that particular project. This is how we got a requirement document. By referring that particular requirement documents, we got understand. Not only this application, any application. For example, we can see that this application, this is related to SAP. SAP applications, we got more clear way. All the documents provided in a very clear way by giving that numbering also. By giving that particular numbering, we got this application. Because it make you more comfortable to understand all the requirements. Some other application taking with, for example, if you look into this particular application, taking with Oracle apps application, right? And then some other application, if you just look into this particular one, taking with payroll processing, timesheet. I mean, as part of IT employee, your attendance need to be done, right? So you can't take the attendance by calling number wise. This is how you will be getting the timesheet will be there. Once you fill the timesheet only, your salaries will be credited. I mean, your salaries will be processed. So the timesheet, how many weeks you worked it, which project you worked it, your manager need to be approved, your time lead need to be, I mean, your test lead need to be approval. So all the calculations, all that approvals, rejections, everything done in this particular application. This is how there are n number of applications are there, but if you are taking with any kind of the application, your testing concepts will be the same. So the whole conclusion, what I'm trying to get explain is, as part of the testing, the very first activity, you will be doing folder creation. That is what you guys need to be complete for Monday session. For Monday session, you guys need to complete creating the empty folders only. After that, requirements understanding. I have not given any requirement document. On Monday, I will provide the requirement document related to our adapting project. By that, you can start working with that particular project. Okay, so this is how we have an option. So this is how we have in a requirements understanding. So after that, we need to go with the main concept is test scenarios. As a tester, after requirements understanding, need to go with the test scenarios. But before going to the test scenarios, need to understand test plan. What is mean by test plan? Why test plan? All those things will be understanding. But in a meanwhile, for Monday, your assignment is need to begin creating empty folder structure. Any project you want to test it, these concepts will be the same. So as part of manual testing, we are taking care about all these things here. All these things are related to manual testing. Need to get comfortable of all these concepts here. Okay, so just take care about all the things here. We'll meet you on Monday. Okay, so up to now everyone is clear. In case of clarifications, you can carry on with your questions.